The Dodge story began in 1914, when John and Horace Dodge, two brilliant engineers, decided to build cars under their own name. Their first car, the Model 30 Touring, shocked the industry. Unlike the wooden-bodied Ford Model T, Dodge offered an all-steel body, stronger brakes, and even an electric starter. At the time, that was luxury. By 1919, Dodge entered the truck world. The panel truck, and later Graham Brothers conversions, gave America reliable 1.5-ton workhorses. Farmers, delivery men, and even the U.S. Army trusted Dodge to carry the load. In the 1920s and 30s, Dodge found its style. The touring sedan, the Series 128 Coupe, and the elegant 1933 Phaeton showed that Dodge could mix durability with design.
These weren't just cars, they were symbols of progress in a rapidly modernizing America. Before Dodge became famous for muscle cars, it was already building a reputation for reliability under pressure. During the 1930s, the Dodge Brothers company had already been absorbed into Chrysler, but their identity remained strong. When World War II arrived, Dodge didn't just stop civilian car production. It turned its factories into war machines. Dodge built over 400,000 military trucks, ambulances, and personnel carriers. Soldiers often joked that a Dodge truck could survive a war better than they could. This heritage of toughness is one reason why Dodge trucks and power wagons are still remembered with respect today. As World War II began, Dodge vehicles went from farms to battlefields. The 1940 COE truck, and later the 1942 WC series, carried troops and supplies across the globe. After the war, Dodge brought that toughness back home. The 1946 pickup and the 1952 M37 Power Wagon became legends. Rugged, reliable, and unstoppable off-road. But Dodge wasn't only about trucks. In the booming post-war years, the company turned heads with family sedans like the 1947 Deluxe D24 and stylish cruisers like the 1950 Coronet. By the late 50s, Dodge fully embraced the chrome and fins era. Just look at the 1959 Coronet. It didn't just drive, it soared down the road like a jet plane on wheels.
The 1950s were not only about cars with fins, they were about an image. Dodge leaned heavily into marketing, presenting their cars as forward-look designs, promising a future of speed and glamour. The 1956 Dodge Regent and 1959 Dodge Coronet weren't just transportation. They were rolling symbols of America's optimism. Dealers displayed them under bright lights, families posed proudly in advertisements, and teenagers dreamed of cruising Main Street in a Dodge. This was the beginning of Dodge's identity, not just as a car maker, but as a lifestyle brand. The 1960s changed everything. Dodge smelled the gasoline in the air and jumped into the horsepower wars. The 1964 Dart GT, the 1965 Coronet convertible, and then the icon, the 1966 Dodge Charger. Sleek, powerful, unforgettable. Hollywood sealed its fate when a black '68 Charger roared through the streets of San Francisco in Bullitt. In 1970, Dodge unveiled the Challenger RT, entering the pony car fight against Mustang and Camaro. It was wild, loud, and ready to tear up the quarter mile. NASCAR fans also remember the outrageous Charger Daytona, with its massive wing slicing through the air at 200 miles per hour. Dodge didn't just build cars. It built weapons for the road and the track.
Dodge's muscle cars weren't only for the streets. They also dominated the track. In NASCAR, cars like the 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona broke records, becoming the first stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. Fans in the grandstands couldn't believe their eyes as the giant rear wing sliced the air. Dodge also burned rubber into pop culture. The Charger starred in The Dukes of Hazzard, while the Challenger cemented its legacy in the cult film Vanishing Point. By the mid-70s, even as emissions regulations tightened, Dodge had already written its name into racing and cinema history. Then came the oil crisis. Gas was expensive, and giant muscle cars fell out of favor. Dodge had to adapt, and they did. In 1984, Dodge changed the world with the Caravan, the first modern minivan. Suddenly, Dodge wasn't just about speed. It was about reinventing family life. But don't think Dodge forgot performance. The late 80s brought turbo coupes like the Daytona Turbo CS, keeping speed alive. Then, in 1992, Dodge dropped a bombshell, the Viper RT/10. With a monstrous V10 engine and almost no driver aids, the Viper was raw, dangerous, and absolutely thrilling. By the late 90s, Dodge added the Durango SUV, proving once again that muscle could take on new forms. The new millennium brought Dodge back to its roots. The 2006 Charger SRT8 revived the muscle sedan. The 2008 Viper Coupe pushed American performance into supercar territory. And in 2009, Dodge brought back the Challenger, a retro-inspired beast that looked like it had just rolled out of 1970. Then came the Hellcat. In 2015, Dodge unleashed the Challenger SRT Hellcat with 707 horsepower straight from the factory. People laughed, people doubted, until they heard the scream of the supercharger. Dodge had reclaimed its crown. Even the Durango SRT and the insane Ram TRX carried that same spirit, muscle, in every form. By the 1990s, Dodge wasn't just an American brand anymore. The Viper became a halo car, admired worldwide, often compared to Ferraris and Lamborghinis for its raw power. Dodge trucks like the Ram gained iconic status too, known for their bold, big rig styling that made them stand out in traffic. For the first time, Dodge wasn't just following trends, it was setting them. The Ram's crosshair grille became instantly recognizable, a statement of confidence on roads from Texas to Tokyo.
In the 2020s, Dodge doubled down.
The Charger Hellcat widebody proved the four-door sedan wasn't dead. The Durango 392 Scat Pack made SUVs terrifyingly fast. The Ram TRX redefined off-road power. But times are changing. In 2024, Dodge revealed the Charger Daytona EV concept, a glimpse into an electric future. Still loud, still aggressive, but ready for a new world. And finally, in 2025, the Challenger Last Call Edition closes a legendary chapter. A farewell to the pure gasoline muscle era, and a salute to everything Dodge has stood for over a century.
From the rugged panel trucks of the 1910s, to the outrageous Vipers of the 1990s, to the fire-breathing Hellcats of today, Dodge has never built boring cars. It builds machines with soul, with attitude, and with the power to leave tire marks not just on the road, but on history itself. This is more than evolution. This is Dodge. Looking back, Dodge is more than cars, more than horsepower. It's a story of America itself, of resilience during war, of optimism in the 1950s, of rebellion in the 1970s, of survival during the fuel crises, and of pure, unapologetic performance in the modern era. Every Dodge carries a piece of that DNA, whether it's a family minivan or a Hellcat with 700 horsepower. That's why enthusiasts don't just drive Dodge, they live Dodge.